Okay, welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me. This is a live stream. I haven't done an in-studio live stream in a little while, so I thought it would be a good idea to do this because I saw a video that was posted on John Eagle's channel. Welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me. This is a live stream. I haven't done... Oh, there we go. I saw this video posted on John Eagle's channel, and I hadn't seen it before. I thought I had watched all of Philip Turner, that's the Batusai, we're going to go over his channel, and what he went through back in 2015. This is still in play, by the way. You know, a lot of people say, oh, that's an old video. Hey, why do you go over old stuff? Well, if it's still in play, I go over that stuff again because apparently the cops still haven't learned their lesson from back in 2015 or back in 2013 or back in the year 2000 or like the Mullen Commission back in 1994, back in 1970. We got the same thing with us every single day of the week. I like what Metal Mama Sue said in the comments. She said one of her favorite verses is Galatians 6:7. Basically, you reap what you sow. I like that too, because, you know, if you're a good person, you are going to reap good things. If you're sowing good things, you're more than likely going to reap good things. Now, we have seen where people sow good things and they reap bad things because there's a bunch of tyrants going around trying to infringe on your rights. So it doesn't always work that way, but typically if you sow a tomato seed, you get a tomato plant. If you sow an apple seed, you get an apple tree. If you sow a weed, you're going to get a weed growing up in your garden. And guess what? You can have a garden that you didn't sow a weed in and you still get weeds. And unfortunately, that's life. But generally speaking, if you're a good person, one of the best things that you can reap is a good conscience. I think Confucius said it. He said one of the most expensive and priceless pillows you will ever own is a clear conscience. So if you're going to be found guilty of anything in this life, be found guilty of being excellent. Be found guilty of being a good person. Be found guilty of doing to others what you would want others to do to you. I don't see how you can be better than that. That is the objective moral high ground. And it's not my opinion. Just ask yourself, do you want somebody harassing you if you don't want to be harassed? Do you want somebody harming and hurting you and stealing your stuff when you just want to be left alone? The answer is, unless you're a psychopath or unless you're lying, which psychopaths do lie, you don't want that stuff to befall you. So don't cause that to befall others. So this is from the Batusai channel. And we're going to talk about a couple things here because I constantly hear cops say, well, you were being suspicious. Oh, really? Was I being suspicious? What was I doing that made me look suspicious? And make them tell you, because if they tell you what they think led them to being suspicious of you, because that's really what it is, they should come up and say, hey, we're suspicious of you. Instead, the victimizers, put it on the person they're about to victimize. Hey, you were being... They put it in the category of a state of being. You were being suspicious or you were doing something suspicious. In other words, you were guilty of committing what we think is a crime. It wasn't you being suspicious, by the way. It was them having a suspicion about you based on nothing. So we're going to go over this real quick. And I will be interrupting because I think there's some things that need to be said. The reason I wanted to do this as a live stream, and I'll get my big fat head out of the way so you guys can see your comments scrolling. If you want to do a super chat, I will read all those at the end. If you want to leave a Cash App, I'll read that at the end, or buy me a coffee or whatever you want to do. This is free content. And the reason I do these live streams is because I truly not just believe, but I know that none of us is greater than all of us. So if you have something to add to this right here and it sounds good, and I'll read it because I want to benefit myself as well as benefiting you. And injustice that happens to one man anywhere is injustice that will befall all men everywhere. So let's take a look at this. And just for clarity, we're watching this. Philip Turner is minding his own business, recording his public servants in action, which is not only sanctioned and recognized by the U.S. Constitution, but also this law here in Austin, Texas.
Sir, how are you? I'm Officer Tripp. I'm with Austin Police. This is Officer Smith.
How's it going?
What's going on today?
Can you talk or you just don't want to talk? The reason we're out on you is you caused kind of a scare up here, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. So
You caused kind of a scare, and us people with costumes and badges and have the authority of the state, and we got flak jackets, and we probably got an MRAP in the back, the backyard over there, and we've got, bulletproof vests on, and we got backup, and we got the unlimited resources of the state, but you caused quite a scare with that intimidating looking camera you got over there, buddy.
You videotaped for a reason, or what's going on? You don't want to talk to us at all, or you just want to videotape? Videotaping us is fine. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. We don't have this happen every day, so.
Did you hear what he just said? Videotaping is fine. In other words, what you're doing is just fine. Take note, he's on a public sidewalk. This officer said, what you're doing is just fine, but we decided to come up and harass you anyway. What kind of psychopath, what caliber, what level of psychopath do you have to be to acknowledge cognitively that the guy that you're talking to has not done anything wrong? You verbalize that what he's doing is just fine, but you're going to try to engage in a conversation he doesn't want any part of. Seriously, what kind of psychopath do you have to be? If you or I did that, hey, lock us up. We deserve it.
Okay, let's go ahead and ID this gentleman.
Do you have an ID on you at all? Sir, listen, we're trying to cooperate with you, okay? But you got to cooperate with us. You can videotape all you want, but...
We're trying to cooperate with you. I don't want your cooperation. I don't even want your presence. But you got to cooperate with us, he said. You got to. Why? Because the state, the government, is not eloquence. Never has been, never will be. It's not reason. It is force. We're going to force you to have an interaction with us, even though you don't want it.
You're being suspicious right now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So if you have an ID with you, that'd be fine. We'd love for you to give it to us so we can find out what's going on.
Hey, sir.
Am I doing anything illegal?
Yes, based on...
What am I doing that's illegal?
But based on your suspicious activity, we're going to go ahead and ID you. If you have no warrants or anything...
Based on your suspicious activity, guys, I am not kidding you. This is not hyperbole or exaggeration. If you were sitting in your vehicle writing a letter to your grandmother, that is less suspicious, or actually recording is less suspicious than you sitting writing a letter to your grandmother in your car in the post office parking lot. This would be just like them walking up to you as you're writing that letter saying, hey, you're being suspicious. Give us your ID. This is how ridiculous it is. Not only is Philip Turner not doing anything wrong, he's doing the very thing that these guys swore to protect and defend. Hey, we just wanted to walk up to you and let you know you have the absolute right to do that. We're not allowing you to do that because we're not your parents and we don't permit people to do things because you're a free man and you're not begging for our permission. But now these guys are walking up to Philip Turner, knowing that what he is doing is not just not wrong, but it's a constitutionally protected activity that they swore to protect and defend, but they're going to harass him anyway. It gets better or worse, depending on how you want to look at it.
Like that, we're going to go ahead and wish you a good day, and we're going to be on our way.
Am I under arrest?
No, you're not under arrest, but you are being detained. There's no two ways about it.
All right, well, if I'm being detained, y'all can go ahead and do your investigation, but I'm just going to stay here and
that's fine.
Exercise my Fifth Amendment right. Just stay here and If I'm not doing anything wrong, then there's a reason for y'all to be
We're
here.
going to go ahead and ID you one way or the other. It's up to you. How
What do you mean one way or the other?
Pardon me?
What do you mean one way or the other?
One way or the other. If we have to take you downtown and fingerprint you, we'll do that. You're being detained for investigative purposes right now.
There's another word for that. If we have to take you downtown against your will, there's a word for that. You know what that word is? It begins with a K. Kidnapping. We're going to kidnap you against your will, take you downtown, and force you onto the fingerprint reader. And we're going to get one way or another. We're getting your ID because we love it. We thirst for it. Oh, we live for it.
Believe me, I know the law better than you. So you can film all you want. You can set it up however you want. We're going to ID you. But until we do that, you're not free to go.
Texas is not a stop and ID state, is it?
Guys, go ahead and frisk this gentleman. Make sure that he doesn't have any weapons on him.
I have no weapons, and I do not consent to
Go ahead and
searches.
frisk him, like I said. Make sure he has no weapons on him.
I don't consent to
And then
searches.
he can either provide us his information.
This is, somebody said, where is this? Sorry if I missed it. This is Austin, Texas. Now, I hear people all the time. We just drove through Texas, and I hear all the time, man, we got the best police officers in Texas. They're constitutionally sound. They love your individual rights. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. They don't in Austin. They don't in El Paso. They don't in Houston. They don't in Washington State. They don't in Washington, D.C. or Illinois or California or Florida. They don't care about your rights. They care about controlling you. They care about exerting their authority, and they care when you hurt their little cop feelings, and they will lash out and use the unbridled power of the state to bring you down.
Information willingly, or we can do it through the ID section downtown.
You have any
Under
weapons on you at
what
all?
gives you the authority to do
Go
that?
ahead and get this done, guys. I'm not
Go
going to
ahead and
argue
stand
with
up
this
for
guy.
me.
You're violating my Fourth Amendment. You know that, right?
Stand up.
You do
Stand
what
up
you
for
need
us.
to do, and we'll do what we need to do, buddy.
Do you have anything on you that we need to know about? Knives, guns?
Wow.
I have nothing. I'm just holding my hands up.
Wow.
You can put your hands back
You can
behind
set
you.
the
You can put the
camera
camera
down.
down and film us while we're doing this if you want
We're
to.
not doing
Am I
this
under
like you-
arrest? That's
like
what
you
I'm
think
asking.
you
You're being detained, and during the detention, you can be frisked for safety.
If you won't put it down, handcuff him.
Here, I'll put my hands right here. Is that fine?
If you won't do it willingly, handcuff him.
Put your hands behind your back for us.
There we go.
back. One back here.
There we go.
You're not being
I
handcuffed
know
right
you're
now.
used to
You're
this going
being-
one way based on the YouTube education you've gotten, but that's not how we do it.
Now
okay?
watch
We're going
this.
to do this
Watch
according to
this.
our policy and according to law.
Look at this. I'm just gonna slow this down. I want to show you something.
Just going one way based on the YouTube education you've gotten, but that's not how we do it. Okay, we're going to do this according to our policy and according to law.
Look at that. Look at that hand right there. They want to do this. A man wants to touch another man. I want to feel your body. This is disgusting. This should never stand in America. How can I this gets all over me, man. I don't want anybody touching me but Trish. And I don't want to touch anybody else but Trish. And this cop took a job knowing that he's going to be doing this kind of stuff to another man. What is that called? What is that called? This is that you would want to touch another human being, that a man would want to touch another man in his private parts, that a man would want to take a position and have a career where he can rifle through somebody's personal belongings in their car or break into their house or whatever. That says all you need to know about the character of the person in that uniform. Everything. And that other cops are going to, this cop right here, it's a little off screen. He wanted to touch the Batusai too. He wanted to touch Philip Turner too. And all the other cops are standing around letting these cops touch this man. Man, if you don't see a big fat problem with this, I question what's going on, what's rattling around in your cerebral cortex.
It's a public area, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Disgusting, disgusting. Oh, it's cringeworthy. Oh my God.
So,
I'm about to explode. This is so unjust. And if you try to fight back, they'll put the helicopters in the air. They'll unleash the hounds on you. They'll get the battle tanks and the cruisers and the infrared, whatever they need to bring you down because you wouldn't let them touch you. because you wouldn't let him abuse you. What's wrong with you? We are going to hunt you down and chase you because you wouldn't let us go through your personal belongings and feel you up. That's why I'll probably never fly again. I haven't flown since January 21st, 2020, because I am not going to subject myself to a TSA screening pat down or their whatever the radiation involved in going through the gate. Pre 2001, pre 9/11 2001, that wasn't even an issue. You could get your ticket, you could go through the gate, you could board your plane, and you didn't have to go through the blue shirts of the TSA. Now they subject you to the radiation and molestation practices of the blue shirts, which, decades ago was called the brown shirts. But this is no different than the TSA. Oh, it's not rape if the TSA is doing it. It's not a violation of your rights if the Austin Police Department's doing it, or LAPD or NYPD. Give me seeing this guy's hand go into the waistband of another man, it makes you want to eat nails.
Law.
It's a public area, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
God, what? Just perversion, man. They love this stuff.
Cell phone.
Yep.
You have a wallet on you?
Oh God. The handy history vault says you really can't blame the cop. He doesn't get any action.
An ID at all?
I'm not answering any more questions unless I'm being reversed.
You're being detained, which means
Okay.
you.
If he has an ID, we have
You
every
don't have an
right
ID at all.
to. We have every right to look at it.
No, you do not.
issue,
You
guys.
do not have every right.
Put it on the back of you. There.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Set it right here so it doesn't interfere with your camera.
Just humiliating people. They don't care.
We're filming this, and so are we.
And-
So we have two separate angles. You're good to go.
Relax.
He says you're filming this, and so are we. So you got two different angles. We're good to go. They believe they're so right that you'll see them take Philip's camera and follow along and place Philip's camera on them as they commit a crime against Philip. That's how checked out they are. That's how much they love tyranny and hate goodness and hate all that is right and think they're still doing a good job, and they still think they're protecting society, and they still think they're not doing anything wrong, to the point where they're going to record their actions. It'd be like you being a thief and recording your theft and recording the address that you stole all this stuff at and then posting your recorded theft online. Yeah, just wait for the bang on the well-deserved bang on the door. Although we're not going to bang on these people's doors because for some reason Americans think if you have a uniform, a badge, and a gun and the authority of the state, well, we can't do anything.
Am I good?
You don't have an ID on you, so what's your. Let me get pen and paper here. You from Austin originally?
I'm not answering any questions.
Good for him not answering.
When you're stopped by reasonable suspicion by peace officers in the state of
can I have a
Texas,
sit here?
No, you can stand there for a second until we're finished. When you're stopped by police officers in the state of Texas for reasonable suspicion, you're required to give minimal identifying information, that being your name and your date of birth. So we'll start there.
What pinnacle is that?
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm just asking.
If he doesn't want to do it, go ahead and put him in handcuffs, and we can do it until we find him on the system. That's the way it goes. Suspicious people, suspicious places, suspicious circumstances. The Code of Criminal Procedure gives us that authority. I've been doing this a lot.
Suspicion. By the way, they don't have any legitimized authority to do what they're doing. I know that you guys know that. I just want to make that clear for everybody here. They do not have legitimate authority under even their own laws, as we shall soon see.
Longer than you've been doing that. So we can go one way or the other. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to get in a debate with you. I know that this makes great fodder on YouTube. I know that it's wonderful to post your videos, and it seems like, oh my God, the sky's crashing down, Big Brother and all that. But we're simply trying to do our jobs. We're going to do that with or without your cooperation. So how we proceed from here is 100% up to you. How do you want to do it?
Am I doing anything wrong? It's just a question. It's just a question.
Set that down.
Yeah.
How does this guy treat his wife at home? Hook him up. Book him up. Get his ID. We're going to fingerprint him. Take him down. Put the torture cuffs on him. We don't care. How this goes is completely up to you. No, it's actually not. You got me tied. You got me torture cuffed.
I know this isn't going
Now
the way
you're
you thought
violating
it
my
was
First
gonna
Amendment
go.
right.
I know it's not the way you thought it was going to
This
go.
is not how it's supposed to go.
Okay, don't
You
fight
can
this.
either put the camera down or we'll take it from you. Now, you want me to make sure it's filming? I'll fix the screen so you can see. Does that work for you? I noticed you didn't want to talk or answer questions unless it was asking questions of us. I found that to be especially
Well,
interesting.
you're arresting me, right?
No, you're not under arrest. You're being detained. Investigatively detained. If you'd like, I can explain the difference to you.
Texas is not a stop in that D state.
Okay, thanks for telling me the law. Now let me tell you what's going to happen. We're going to...
There, let's take a look at this law, courtesy of John Eagle here. Let me just show you this law. I'm going to read this to you. It says public recording of official acts. This is from the Austin Police Department General Orders. It says the Austin Police Department recognizes, well, these Austin Police Department officials don't recognize, that members of the general public have a First Amendment right. It's not a privilege. It wasn't granted to you by a man. It can't be taken from you by a man or organization. It is an inalienable right. Unalienable. You can't put a lien against it. To video record, photograph, and or audio record APD officers while they are conducting official business, which is exactly what Philip Turner was doing, or while acting in an official capacity in any public space, which he was in a public space, unless such recordings interfere with police activity, which he wasn't. And then it says, officers are reminded that photography, including videotaping of places, buildings, structures, and events, are common and normally lawful activities. You can't take a common, normally lawful activity or a constitutional activity and convert it into being suspicious or criminal activity. They don't even know their own laws. They don't care about their own laws. All they care about is dominating over you. That's it.
Detain you until we have been able to properly identify you. Okay. If we're able to properly identify you and there's no warrants or any other reason to hold you, we'll cut you loose, as is our prerogative, as is held by the state of Texas law, the United States Constitution, and, by the way, Austin Police Department policy and procedures. Now, how we proceed, again, I'm going to put it to you. It's up to you. You can either willingly give us your name and date of birth, or you can continue to take this stand that you're taking, which will do you no good other than delaying your freedom to go. So tell me again, do you want to give us your name and date of birth, or do you want us to detain you further until we can specifically identify you and make sure that there is nothing more to this than what meets the eye?
Am I under arrest?
You are being detained. Okay. I've said it again. If you want me to get closer to the camera so I could say it into the speaker, I'll do that. However, I think it's been made clear to you that you're being detained for investigative purposes. You will not be released until we can positively identify you. Does that sound like it's clear now? Whether you agree with it or not, are you understanding what I'm saying to you?
You should be familiar with Penal Code 3802. You should be familiar with that.
I appreciate you telling me what I should and should not do.
Okay.
But here's what we're going to do. Have
them
him sit in the back of the car, and let's go ahead and figure out who he is. Once we do that, we'll go from there.
Step over here.
Here, take his camera. Make sure he keeps that with him.
Now they're going to take Philip's video camera and record their continued crime in progress.
He filmed in the car as well.
And this is a crime. Make no mistake about this. This is criminal activity right here.
No, actually, you're actually dictating how we treat you at this point.
Thank you, Cliff, for that super chat. I will cover all super chats at the end of this video.
If you would like to leave, just tell us your name, date of birth. We'll make sure that you don't have any wants or warrants. We'll make sure that there's no other suspicious activity we need to investigate, and you'll be free to go.
No other suspicious.
If you want to play this out and make a statement, you can go ahead and do that. It's just going to delay you being able to leave freely. All right, there we go.
You take me down?
And they put his video camera right in front of Philip. Perfect. Figure out who he is. Make him insecure in his person.
Well, it's up to you.
You got, have you ever had an ID issue too?
Can I answer any questions, sir?
I love Philip's demeanor. I love the fact that he doesn't answer questions. I love the fact that he asks questions and he gets the cops to incriminate themselves.
I mean, until y'all arrest me until y'all find a crime to
So in
arrest
other
me
words,
for,
you're just trying to get us to arrest you for no reason. That's pretty much it, right?
that's pretty much what I'm in right now.
No, you're being detained. There's a difference between being detained and being under arrest. A detention usually yields an investigation.
But y'all can investigate. I'm just
And
using
that's
my
what we're
Fifth
trying to
Amendment
do,
right
but
to
you're
be
not-
quiet.
But you're not helping us out with this at all.
I have the right to use my Fifth Amendment right.
Okay?
Y'all didn't state any crime that I broke, but I'm in handcuffs.
But you do understand the detention. What do you understand as the detention?
You guys are just holding me, but you got me in handcuffs.
No.
I was
Give me-
perfectly fine right there.
If you know everything that you're supposed to know about the law, give me the law on detention.
You can hold me for whatever purpose, but you have to suspect me of committing a crime.
No.
No?
No.
What's your name and badge number?
My name is Officer Smith. My badge number is 6981. The suspicion.
What's your badge number and name, sir? 6173. What's your name? I can't hear you, sir. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. What's your name, sir, and badge number?
Yes, sir. Trip.
And it's going to be on a report. So if you need to get a report number too, you can get all our names and numbers on a report number.
Just for clarification, there are 4 cops involved in this illegal, unconstitutional criminal detainment. Really, it's an arrest. Shirley, 4895, Smith, 6981, Rodinger, 6173, and Tripp, 4765.
Didn't do anything
We're
wrong.
not trying to do anything to you that you're not trying to do to us.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Sir, listen. If somebody's walking around your house, even in your house, and you think they're suspicious because they're doing something suspicious, wouldn't that raise an eyebrow for you?
If they're on public property, it would.
No, don't even go there.
It is.
If somebody's
Was I not on?
Don't even go there because that doesn't fit with my argument. I mean, you're trying to bring an apple into my orange crate. If somebody's on your private property looking in your windows, don't you think that's suspicious? Yeah, that's suspicious because it's my property and he's not invited there. When you're on public property, see, that's another thing about cops. They have no idea what the difference is between public and private property because they always say things like this.
Public property?
If somebody's staring at your house,
Was I not on public property?
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If somebody's staring at your house, you're going to call the PD to come and check on and see what that person's doing.
If somebody's stepping on my house, I am not calling badge thugs of the state to try to remedy a problem that I can remedy myself. I'll tell you that right now. Because if you think your day's going bad right now, just wait to see how bad it gets when the police show up. You start calling the cops onto your property, you're pretty much doomed. You've sealed your fate.
Person sitting in front of your house staring through your window. Am I right?
No.
You're not.
I'll be armed, but in that case, if I were to call the police, you guys will probably be too late.
Really?
Yes.
Possibly. You probably walked off. But what if we weren't late? Suspicious person, suspicious activities. Tell me about that law.
You can sit there and ask me questions all you want
Well,
to.
you're telling me you know the law from here and there. I'm just trying to figure out if you know exactly what's going on.
Well, I'm just gonna sit here until y'all finish what y'all doing.
This cop has, I question how many, he has to have enough brain cells to power his body because he got dressed. Maybe he didn't even dress himself. I don't know. But he is speaking. So there are signs of life there. But as far as if anybody's home, this cop has no clue what's going on. It's unbelievable to me that somebody would get some kind of criminal law degree or go through a college class, become a law enforcement officer, go through the training and not understand what the difference is between public and private property.
Okay. You can go quick and easy right now if you just give a name and date of birth.
I got all the time in the
If
world.
not, we're going down to our main station, get your fingerprint and figure out who you are.
It's a threat.
Because of suspicious activity.
That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Suspicious activity? Are you telling me?
That does not override the Fourth Amendment.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
How are you positive?
Positive.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't know you from anybody else that I'm standing around here with in this parking lot. And with the suspicious activity that you were doing, I don't know if you're trying to do something to the building or if you have some kind of a mental ailment that we need to address or get addressed or some kind of medical issue that needs to be addressed. So in order to figure that out, if you're not cooperating with us, we have to do our best. And like my sergeant also said, we have policy on this.
Why would I cooperate with someone who's treating me like a criminal? Even though I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I cooperate with someone who's treating me like a criminal, even though y'all told me I didn't do anything wrong?
You're being suspicious.
What's suspicious of?
You're videotaping an area of people.
So being in a Sonic parking lot is suspicious?
No, you were not in a Sonic parking lot the entire time.
This right here. Oh, okay, on the sidewalk in front of the station. That's considered suspicious.
If anybody calls in and says, hey, this is weird, we have to investigate.
From on the sidewalk?
Because it's not something that people normally do. That's what makes it suspicious. If a person driving by here says, huh, that looks suspicious, that's suspicious activity.
That's all right. Y'all just figure out what y'all have to do. I'll sit here and wait.
That's fine.
It was literally like trying to reason with a 5-year-old.
You want to go down and just do the fingerprint?
Sir, is there anything that we can say or do to have you assist us with our investigation?
I mean, if y'all fingerprint me, I'm suing you guys. There's no reason for this.
No.
Y'all didn't even tell me what crime I committed.
Is there anything that we can say or do to have you assist us with our investigation?
Fifth Amendment.
Is there anything we can say or do to get you to assist us in our investigation? Why? What incentive would I have to get badged tyrants to for me to help them in their investigation of me? Wait, let me get this straight. You want me to help you in your investigation of me? Where's my paycheck? You want me to do your job, which this isn't their job. They're going above and beyond their job. And when I say above and beyond, I mean they are entering the clouds, the lofty heights of tyranny here and despotism. This is why we had a revolution. This is why the founding fathers said, no, screw this. We ain't going this way. Redcoats, you're not our friends. You're your enemies. Get off our land. I know what song Philip's thinking of right now. I know what song is Philip thinking of right now? What song is it? Money. Take the stash. He's got Pink Floyd written all over his face, man. Doesn't ABBA sing a song like that too, or didn't they? Money, money. It's like money, money, money. It's something about money. I don't know. $220 a minute. Which sucks because it doesn't come out of the cop's pocket. It comes out of the pockets of the taxpayers who had nothing to do with this crime.
You mind loosening these up? These are kind of hurting my wrist right now.
They're on as by policy.
I understand that, but can you loosen them up? They're like really hurting my wrist.
They're on that's not policy.
Can you loosen them up?
You can lean forward. They're not made for policy at all.
The seat's reclining. I got a seatbelt holding me back, so I can't really lean forward. Push yourself up. But that's not helping.
Listen, those things are owned by policy. I put my finger in them just like I'm supposed to.
I understand that, but I'm asking.
Did you hear what he said? Those are on by policy. We are order followers. We know that you're not a criminal. We know that you don't mean us any harm. We know that you haven't shown us any kind of aggression and you've completely cooperated with everything, but we're still going to leave you in torture cuffs. It's sadistic. These are literally sadistic psychopaths who are torturing this guy at this moment as we speak. And don't think that they aren't torture cuffs. They're thousands of injuries every year from people just wearing handcuffs. They get this, nerve damage, long-lasting, lifelong nerve damage to where they have to have surgery. This is no joke. Having handcuffs on is no joke. But they're like, well, we're policy enforcers. We're order followers. We don't do what is right, regardless of what we're told. We do what we're told, regardless of what is right. If it's causing you discomfort, that's what they were designed for. No compassion, no empathy for your fellow man who literally did nothing wrong. And they have him in the car seat, remember, for no reason at all. They admitted they have him in the car seat for no reason at all in torture cuffs.
Can you loosen them? They're really tight. Ow.
I don't know your intentions. You haven't told me any of your intentions. You don't want to talk to us, so I don't know what your intentions are. So I'm not about to put myself in a safety situation by allowing you to get loose and handcuffs.
Well, you got a gun, taser, pepper
I
spray.
don't use my gun. I've been doing this for way too long.
Well, can you get another officer to do it? Because these are really tight.
They're not tight. I put my finger.
I would have said, can you get somebody who's less scared than you so that they can, at least take some of the pressure off here?
Just like I was supposed to make sure you had enough room between your wrists. They're just in the position that you have your hands. It's making it worse.
Well, my back.
Thank you, Cliff Williams, for becoming a member. Welcome, Cliff Williams. I'm just sitting here as I watch Philip in torture cuffs, just thinking of 18 USC 241 and 242. They conspired against this man's rights. They deprived him of his rights under color of not even their own law, under the color of assumption, under the color of false suspicion. There was nothing suspicious being done. The people who are acting suspicious are the people who committed the crime. Holy cow, Iron Man Metal has been a member for 18 months. Thank you, Iron Man Metal. Yeah, Zilla says officer safety equals officer cowardice. While he's sitting here in the seat, we'll read some. Listening for years, keep up the fight, says Iron Man Metal. Thank you. Oh man, what happened to my super chats just disappeared. Shoot, I'm gonna have to scroll up here. D with the $6 super chat. Thank you, Brian, for what you do. Thank you, D.
Ask him what crime he's charged me with.
I know there was another super chat, but it's not in my viewer activity tray for some reason. Yeah, so scared of him, yet he'll sit right beside him. Yeah, Smorgasbord says, meanwhile, real crimes are being committed right now. Yeah, how many stores are being broken into? How many women are being raped? How many people are being murdered? How many children are being abducted while this is happening right here? This nonsense. This ridiculous nonsense. Gotta get your ID. We gotta find out who you are. You gave us a scare back there with your camera, trying to offer some transparency to our department, will you? Well, we'll take care of you. I'm gonna fast forward through this a little bit.
Your name and your date of birth. Will you please give us that?
Here we go.
Have you got anything? Okay. Sir. All right. I just want to ask you one more time. Your name and your date of birth. Will you please give us that? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to document this entire stop in a report. It's also documented on our digital mobile audio video. I'm quite aware that you have it documented on your personal camera. We're going to write a report. We're happy to give you the case number. If you'd like to buy a copy of the report, it'll be available to you at any police facility or online for that matter.
Did he say if you'd like to buy a copy of the report?
We're be available. We're going to write a report. We're happy to give you the case number. If you'd like to buy a copy of the report, it'll be available to you at any police facility or online for that matter. We're then going to release you from the scene. You're not going to cooperate with us. We're going to have to put you down on a report as unknown or John Doe, whatever you choose, whatever you prefer. And from there, you'll be cut loose. I would caution you, when you find yourself in a position where you're filming a government installation like a police station, you're filming people's plates, you're filming cars, put yourself in a position where if somebody makes a complaint against you for doing that, it becomes a different situation. It can become a criminal offense if they feel like you're stealing any kind of identifying information. Us, you can take pictures of these cars all day long and document on video and everything else, police, license plates and everything else, because those are a matter of public record. Now, you're absolutely 100% correct. You're not in violation of failure to ID laws. That was never the point. The point is the police have a reasonable right to stop you based on the Code of Criminal Procedure when we find you to be a suspicious person in a suspicious place under suspicious circumstances.
It's not about being a suspicious person. It's that the cop needs to suspect that a crime is afoot. Let me just show you this real quick. I know this is like, why are we going over this, Brian? What do you think, we're stupid? No, I don't think you're stupid. I'm just hoping that maybe some cops are watching this. And I hope you cops that are watching this got as infuriated as I did, that I think that we did, when you saw a man touch another man's crotch. As a profession, a man that did nothing wrong, committed no crime, was actually acting out the freedoms that we're supposed to have in America. So what is suspicion? It's an adjective. What does it describe? Well, in most cases, it describes a mental state or a cognition in the law enforcer's own head that he just made up, or he wants you to be guilty of, and he's going to try to pin something on you. Having or showing a cautious distrust of someone or something. If you have a cautious distrust of someone or something, you probably have a good reason for it. What do we call a good reason that we can speak out and convey to some? Oh, that's right. Articulable. I can articulate why I have a suspicion of this person right here, causing one to have the idea or impression that something or someone is of questionable, dishonest, or dangerous character or condition. And the last definition, having the belief or impression that someone is involved in an illegal or dishonest or criminal activity. So its suspicion is a cognition of mistrust based on something objective. Oh, he's sneaking around at night in a backyard that's not his, and it looks like he has a firearm. That's reasonable suspicion. As a matter of fact, that's beyond reasonable suspicion. That's probable cause that a crime is being committed if that's not that guy's yard. Oh, that guy has a crowbar in his hand and he's about to smash that store window. I have probable cause that a crime is about to be committed. I'm going to go up and apprehend that individual. It's not, oh, you're being suspicious. No, I'm suspicious that you're committing a crime. That's how they should be putting it. But they don't. They want to put it on the victim that they are currently victimizing, and that's what abusers do. And that's what cops seem to be, is uniformed, badged, heavily armed with heavy backup abusers. And according to that crime stat, 40% of law enforcement officials are engaged in some kind of activity where there's domestic abuse involved. I didn't write it.
In this case, we have 2 of those. It was suspicious seeing you outside filming our installation, and the plates and the cars and the people coming in and out of the building. And
you can't say that. It was suspicious of you filming our cars. You had to suspect that my filming of your car was a criminal activity, and you can't do that because you can't convert a constitutionally protected right into a criminal activity. You know that.
It was a suspicious circumstance based on that. That's why you were stopped. That's why you were ID'd. We could not ID you, placed you in handcuffs for officer safety, placed you in the car. We could never come to an agreement on getting your ID. So at this point, there's not much we can really do. We're going to have to part ways and go on with our lives. Again, you're more than welcome to any kind of documentation. You can discuss this with anybody else you would like to. If you want to complain for anything, that's
directive. This cop splainer really wants to put stuff in his. He's a controller. He's a control freak. Here's my directive. You can do this. You can. Oh, thanks for your permission that I can share my video with anybody I want. Thanks for your permission that I'm free to go because I didn't do anything wrong as we spoke. 20 minutes ago now.
Available to you, and there's plenty of documentation, so the record will stand as it is. Do you have any questions for me? No question. Free? You will be free in just 1 minute after we take the handcuffs off. Fair enough? All right, very good. Thank you.
No, not fair enough. Nothing about this is fair. Nothing. God, this just, oh, God.
Just a second. So I'm putting the camera.
They moved the camera. Crime in progress. Crime in progress. Every one of these cops is an oath frickin' breaker. Every one of them. D just became a member. Thank you, D. Look, watch. Philip is about to record his wrist. Look at this. Tell me this isn't torture cuffs.
Here's your property.
So evil. So evil. The brown shirts would be proud. Look at this. And then they don't just cuff you, but they cause you to sit on your hands, on your wrists, on your cuffed wrists. Now Philip goes back where he was recording and continues to record. Look at that. Look at those marks. So at the end of the day, the cops got a free feel and they were able to torture somebody and get away with it. Now, again, at the end of the day, Philip Turner did get a $5,500 settlement. By my estimation, he was in the cop car, or as soon as they put the cuffs on him and released him, about 25 minutes had elapsed. If you take that 25 minutes, that's $220 per minute. That didn't cost the cops anything, but it came out of the taxpayers, the tax cattle's back pocket. The tax cattle who did nothing wrong. That's why Bastiat said the state is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everybody else. And if there's anybody living off the expense of other people, it's the welfare recipients known as the policy enforcers. All right, so let me read some super chats here. Cliff Williams. Take a stand, everyone, he says. Yeah, we got to take a stand. If you don't stand for Philip Turner's rights, this is Philip Turner right here. He's from the Batusai channel. And let me pull up his channel because it is good. You gotta check it out. And again, let me also give a shout out to John Eagle. You got to check out John Eagle's channel. He's doing a good job over there too. So this is from the Batusai. That's Philip Turner. That's the guy that was in the cop car. This is John Eagle's channel. This is how I found out about Philip Turner's channel or Philip Turner's video here because I hadn't seen it. Apparently it's from June 2015. So an injustice that happens to a Philip Turner anywhere happens to a Brian Young everywhere. Happens to a Michael, happens to a We Cannot Comply, happens to an MSAS, happens to a John Eagle, happens to a Kyle Sollers, happens to a Zilla. It happens to all this kind of stuff. Tyranny is a cancer, and cancer doesn't stop. It metastasizes. It doesn't just sit there. It continues to grow and grow and grow because it wants to control all the other organs in the area and just completely take over. And if we lay down and sit on our hands and do nothing, then this kind of stuff isn't just going to happen to Philip Turner. It's going to happen to me next week and to you the week after that. And the next day it's going to happen to somebody else in the room. I mean, put a 1 in the room if you've had an experience with law enforcers where they had you in cuffs for absolutely no freaking reason. Put a 1 in the room. I'll put a 1 in the room. I have been. It's been a while. Cliff Williams says, take a stand. D on another super chat says, thank you, Brian. Oh man, something just jumped there. Thank you for what you do, Brian. Cliff Williams becomes a member. Thank you, Cliff. Iron Man Metal has been a member for 18 months. He says, listening for years. Keep up the fight. Thanks. Cliff Williams also says, here's another 5. Stand for our rights. Cliff Williams again with the $10 super chat. 3rd super chat today. Brian, we are twins. D becomes a member. Paisley becomes a member. Thank you very much, Paisley and D and Cliff and keeps the Peels has become a new member. I really appreciate that, guys. And Paisley with the $5 super chat. Look at all these people in the room. Look at all these people in the room with 1s. The 1 signifies that you have been arrested for absolutely no reason. And you know what that means? That means that you got tortured with torture cuffs. That means some sadistic psychopath got his jollies off watching you, an innocent person, suffering under state influence. And it probably cost you money. You probably, because you were minding your own business and some state punk decided to take you and put you in handcuffs, it probably cost you money and the state became more powerful. And it was this wealth transfer where they relieved you of your funds and it went right into state coffers so that they could generate some more, get some more equipment and hire some more people to do even more. Ban the Crooked Blue Line has been cuffed for no reason. Stephanie has. Kyle, Beacon Lights, Cliff Williams, Mark B, Mushroom Manny says he's at the airport. Turcot, 10 years ago. Babe says I was 10 years ago. D has been. Jim Stevens has about 10 ones. I hope that doesn't mean for every one you were arrested for no freaking reason at all. First Nation, David Reed. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. And this is just, what, there's 500 people in the room right now? Oh, by the way, before you leave, hit the like button, hit the share button, share this with everybody you know, because I'm telling you, it is more than a cliche. It's more than just something that Martin Luther King Jr. said. An injustice that happens to one man anywhere is injustice that happens to all men everywhere. Greg's Tupac Nation sent $2 super chat. You're a great man, Brian. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. You know, I'm not great. I'm just an average person, and I'm going to use my voice as long as I have breath in my esophagus. You know, trying to make some more freedom here in this tyrannical land. If you think you're free, you think this is the land of the free, home of the brave, just turn on YouTube. It ain't. If you're paying property taxes, you're not free. If you're being taxed to death, you're not free. If you're being harassed and hounded and economically terrorized by the thin blue line gang, you know, the protectors and servants of the people. Think about this. If the protectors and servants of the people are harassing and collecting from you and torturing you and stripping you of your rights, are we really free? Really? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you like these commentary videos, maybe you'll like some of my others. I've got a lot of videos on my channel that you probably haven't seen. I have a most popular playlist right here. If you haven't seen some of these videos, really take a look at them because they're still in play. I try to remember to leave the links to the police department so that we can, you know, a lot of times when people call police offices and departments, they are forced to do the right thing because they don't want to look bad in front of their constituency. They want to keep people believing that they are the protectors and servants of the people, and the last thing they want is any kind of bad press. It really does help. Maybe sometimes it doesn't, but when you put pressure on police departments who have done the absolute wrong thing, sometimes they change their ways because they got too much pressure and they don't want a bad look. The V-Man 690 just became a member. Jersey Bob with a $50 frickin' super chat. What the heck? Jersey Bob, thank you very much for that. And thank you VM Man 690 for being a member. If you want to become a member, if you want to grab a shirt or whatever, that's great. The best thing you can do for this channel is give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and stand for your freedoms. If you don't stand for them, if you don't exercise your rights, you will definitely lose your rights because there's psychopaths all over the place, more than willing to take your rights from you. And if you think that you can be ignorant and free, then man, let me just tell you, you're desiring something that never was and what never shall be. I'll leave the chat room open for about, it usually closes in 5 minutes after I end the stream, but if I end it on OBS and don't end it on my YouTube screen, I can keep it open pretty much for as long as I want. So I'll keep it open for 15 minutes, which means, how about I keep it open? I'll keep the chat open for 20 minutes. That means it's 6:07 right now. At 6:27, I'll go ahead and end the chat. But if you guys want to hang out and chat among yourselves, it smells like Trish is cooking something good, and I got to get in the kitchen and we got to eat because I am hungry. I will see you guys in the next video. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and I appreciate you stopping by. Take care.